Hello, and welcome to Anime Territory, a podcast that's really just an excuse for me to talk about anime with my best friend. Speaking of which, I'm Johnny Ruhal, and my best friend and co-host is Benjamin Take Me Home Schabbing.
Hello. I came up with that one.
Yep. That was no surprise on the nickname this week. I just took his suggestion. It was too good.
It's too good.
I mean, I'm already home, but...
Well, it's not for you.
Okay, who are you taking home?
I thought they were taking me home.
You're like, I need somebody to take me home, please.
Yeah, no, take me to your home.
Okay, but my home is your home. We live together, remember?
Again, you're not the one bringing me home.
No, I thought I wasn't. I thought you. I said you were bringing me home, not that I was bringing you home. Those are two different things.
What?
Okay, this week we're talking about one of our favorite anime movies, Whisper of the Heart. It was written by Miyazaki, but it was directed by somebody else whose name I did not write down.
Yoshi Fumikando.
Alright, and this is a Ghibli movie.
Correct.
It's a lesser known one, I would say, because it's not Miyazaki directed. So all the ones that are not Miyazaki directed. It's also not the other guy. It's not
Will Ferrell?
No. That's the one. You've used it.
Dang it, I used it on that?
Yep, you've used your one other guy's reference.
Dang it.
The guy who did Mononoke.
Takahata?
Not Mononoke.
Isao Takahata.
Yeah, Isao Takahata, yeah. The Princess Kaguya is what I was thinking of. Mm-hmm. The other princess one. Not Princess Mononoke, Princess Kaguya. Okay. Let's see. So we're going to try to do things a little bit different. Instead of just laboriously going over the plot, I'm going to give Ben 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
To sum up what this show is about.
No, I said I'd do this. I'm totally blanking now. I should have prepared.
You really should have. Are you ready to start?
Sure.
3, 2, 1.
You want me to say go?
3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, so Whisper of the Heart is about a girl named Shizuku. I forgot her last name.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. Move forward.
I gotta burn 3 minutes. Hold on. Just give me time. It's like a minute movie I gotta describe in 3 minutes. Anyways, she goes to school. She reads a lot of books. And as she's reading books, she notices that this name keeps popping up on her library card.
Seiji Amasawa. Don't hesitate with the name. Keep going.
Seiji Amasawa. So she kind of daydreams about who this person is and who is this guy? And is he hot? Are we compatible? And then she writes lyrics for Country Roads. We find out. We meet Seiji Amasawa.
He's a violin. It's him though.
What?
We don't know it's him at first.
Oh yeah. Anyways, we meet him. It's fine. She stumbles upon a cat who she follows to this weird antique store owned by this old man who has this very beautiful cat statue.
Yes.
That kind of enamors her, makes her think of the story and everything.
Keep going.
She's enamored by it. How much time I got?
You're at a minute and a half. You're halfway.
Oh, dang. Okay. So she keeps going there. She meets Seiji Amasawa, who happens to be this antique owner's grandson. They hit it off. He's a violin maker. As they start to hit it off, he goes to Italy for this internship, basically. She feels really sad about it and also has self-doubt about her not knowing what she wants to do with her life. So she tells herself she's going to write a novel in 2 months while he's gone. She struggles with it, and she ends up writing it. The grandfather reads it. It's good, but she's happy that she did it and that she knows what she wants to do now. And then Seiji comes back, and they are going to marry each other. Apparently.
You've got 40 seconds left.
Okay, 40 seconds. Let me drop in some plots. We get a little bit of a flash into what the story's about. We get a little bit of the Baron. There's some... See, I told you I needed a bad time. You rushed me.
I don't know. I feel like there's some key things that you could have talked about. So, this is the first time we've done this. You've still got 15 seconds.
What am I missing?
I would just think that she neglects her schoolwork. There's a sort of a love triangle with a friend of hers. We learn about you kind of said you learned about the Baron's history, but it's like a very important thing to the grandfather. Okay. We're at 3 minutes now, so.
Yeah, I butchered that.
Yeah, it's all right. It's our first time doing it. Maybe I'll give you 2 minutes next time.
2 minutes.
Okay. So, yeah, that's the rough. If you don't, you can go watch this movie. It's a good movie. I'll just go ahead and say that right now.
Fantastic.
It's one of our favorite movies. I have a list of my top 10 movies. I do not have them in order, so we're not going to be going through that anytime soon. Mm-hmm. But it's in there. So I guess we'll just kind of talk about our history with this movie. We discussed this a little bit before we started recording, but this was a movie that was constantly overlooked, I think, in when we started watching anime movies. Watched a lot of Miyazaki movies, watched a lot of Ghibli movies that weren't Miyazaki, but this was one that was oh yeah, I heard this is like a
a cult classic almost, where it's
or a gym in the
forgotten
rough,
gym, yeah.
And then I hear the names. It's called Whisper of the Heart. Intriguing.
It's a cool name for a movie. Yeah.
But it's not Miyazaki directed, so it's not as popular, and it's it's not like a fantasy or so it's just a matter of let's if we had to have watched this in college. I don't remember the first time I watched this.
It had to have been in your basement.
Yeah. Or in our dorm room.
I don't think we watched it in the dorm room.
Okay. Anyway, it's that was a good movie. And then a couple years ago, I went to go visit a friend of mine for a couple of days. I was just taking vacation from work, and I went to go visit somebody who also had vacation at the same time. Brought this movie, and it's just it just hit right. It's just this is a damn good movie. Mm-hmm. So, I think, I spent 4 or 5 days just hanging out with him, and at one point, we listened to Country Roads on loop for an hour. Because this song loves Country Roads. We should mention that.
Yes.
They have 2 official renditions of it.
Beginning and the end.
A third insert song rendition of it.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 other inserts of them. Because you mentioned she makes some Country Roads lyrics. Yeah. She's in the sub, she's adapting it to Japanese. Because you can't just translate the lyrics word for word. It's not going to flow into a song very well. So she's sort of adapting it to Japanese in the...
Well, they're singing it in Japanese in the opening. No, the ending.
The ending they're singing in Japanese. Okay. But she's just just goes through a verse or 2.
I assume that it's already translated over there. It's just she's making her own lyrics for it.
Yeah. It's hard to... it was translated at the time the movie was made, officially, but in the lore of the movie, has it been translated? I don't know. But she's adapting it in the Japanese to also kind of fit for their middle school graduation, because it's going to be sung there or recited there or something. But she's here's one sheet that I've been working on that she was proud of, and here's another sheet that I just made for shits and gigs. That's called Concrete Roads, because they live in Tokyo.
West Tokyo.
They don't have country roads in Tokyo. So it's that's 5 renditions of country roads in one movie. We came back, and I think I made you watch it again, and that's when you got really into it. Is that right?
I guess. I feel like I liked it before then, but it might not.
Yeah, again, we liked it before then, but did it really hit hard with us? This is a great fucking movie.
I don't know. It might have been after.
I forgot I was going to try not to swear in this one.
Yeah, you said 2 already.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I forgot. We decided that a week ago, and then we put off recording because of isolation. So, okay. Now, this also, inspired us. We have a list currently out there of,
I have a list of, basically every version of Commercialrhodes out there.
Not like fan versions
No.
that somebody would throw up on YouTube, but like anytime like a legitimate band or like a movie has it in there.
Mm-hmm.
Or like one of the big ones I think was the one like college football team. It's like their fight song.
I tried to find one of that. There's no good
recording.
No good recording of that.
It's on the list of like, here's one of the top experiences. But I feel like you're right. It's like, this is going to be if you're there in the stadium when they're everyone's singing it
looks
cool
electric,
experience.
But it doesn't translate
it doesn't
audio.
Record very well. Yeah.
But there's the Kingsman one.
Yeah, there's
American
Fallout
Dad.
76. American Dad does it.
Yeah.
This, like we said, there's quote unquote 5, but there's actually 7 because you have to, 8 because you have to include the 3 that are in the middle that are translated in Japanese and in English. Okay. So there's 8 from Whisper of the Heart.
I don't think I counted those because they don't sing them.
Oh, you might not have, but I definitely did.
Okay.
Anyway, our goal, we also want to record a cover of us doing it, but the friend that I was seeing this with, he was a part of that, and he's just like super busy and lives 5 hours away. Yeah. So it's a matter of can we get this going? And he's the one who like can play like actual music.
Yeah, I can't play music.
Yeah. So it's like I'm gonna let like him do that. And I even recorded something while I was visiting him for a Country Roads cover. But I think he lost the audio or something. It wasn't good. That was a thing with him. He'd always like lose audio when we do something. It's like, okay, well, I'm not driving 5 hours again to go visit you. It was bad enough doing it twice. But I think we were also looking at like trying to like work in other songs, like have a bridge that was another song, because we were also watching like a bunch of Adventure Time that moment.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we were trying to get the island song from Adventure Time to be like a bridge, and he was messing with that. We couldn't really get it to transition well. So I thought it sounded fine, but again, he's the musical one.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, eventually we'll be releasing a playlist of that, and then I'm gonna burn a CD that's my Country Roads mix. It's just that I don't have a CD player anymore, but
I do.
I guess my computer technically.
Yeah. I mean, just put it on your like Google Play thing, whatever.
Yeah, I know, but that's not the same as having like here's my burned CD Country Roads jam mix.
This is my mixtape. Hope you like it, girl.
It's just Country Roads.
You know this is just Country Roads, right? Yeah.
That same friend of ours, he made a Summer Jam Mix Volume 1 CD for his girlfriend in college. It was just All Star by Smash Mouth repeated like 12 times. Yeah. I think he might have at the very end put the Punk Goes Pop cover of it, but he might not have even done that. Mm-hmm. He then of course made a Summer Jams Mix Volume 2 that was legitimate, but
okay. It's
like, you son of a bitch.
Brilliant.
You've done it. Okay. That's our history. I don't know. Did you want to add anything else with our history of Whisper of the Heart?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. So, we talked a little bit. I think we should talk about some of the characters a little bit more. So, We've got our main character, Shizuka Tsukishima. Shizuku Tsukishima. She is... Like, I think she's fairly smart, but she kind of likes reading more than she does studying, which gets on the nerve of her sister, who we'll talk about a little bit later. Mm-hmm. So, like, her goal is to read 20 books over summer vacation.
Which is like, what, 3 weeks?
Yeah, something for them? Like 4 weeks or something, maybe. Yeah. It's not a very big time.
Yeah. While everybody else is doing, like, crammed school.
Yeah, everyone else is studying for finals and doing their summer homework. Because Japan, they have summer homework. Ugh. Yeah. Well, it's like, I don't know. I don't think we ever really had homework over winter break, but it'd be like doing that for us.
That's true. I mean, I did.
Because you're still on the same... I
took a fall semester, or a winter semester one time.
Yeah. We didn't have... Their grades don't end when summer vacation hits. Mm-hmm. So, they can do homework. They're also just a much more studiously minded country than ours. Maybe not necessarily to a good point. People come in all shapes and sizes and ways of thinking, but that is...
We can talk about that. There's some themes in there about that.
Oh, yeah. So, like, at one point, when she decides that she wants to be a writer, because she doesn't really know what she wants to do. She just knows that she likes reading fairy tales and making song lyrics. So she's like, well, maybe I'll be a writer, and that's what I want to do with my life. Because it's in that time where you start thinking what you want to do with your life.
Yeah, also her relationship with Seiji is like, he knows what he wants to do. She doesn't. She feels... I don't, sad's not the right word. She feels...
melancholic about it. It's like, you know, it
almost like gives her the sense of, maybe not dread, but like... Anxiety, yeah.
And she's also got like some imposter syndrome stuff going on. I have feelings of inadequacies written as a note. Like that's a big thing. Like she doesn't feel like she's good. Like even though she likes him, she doesn't feel like she's good enough because he's got his whole life planned out. He knows what he wants to do. He wants to go to Italy to this one specific town and study violin making under this person. And I'm over here like, I like reading fairy tales.
I like books
and writing silly song lyrics.
Yeah.
But she's like, I'm going to become an author. So she like forsakes studying and she loses a lot of sleep and falls asleep at her desk. And, you know, her sister is like, you can't live like you gotta study if you want to survive in this world and get into a good school. And she's like, well, maybe I don't want to go to high school. Maybe I want to, you know, stop what I'm doing and do this.
Become a Twitch streamer.
Yeah. God, I wish. We'd have to stream more than once a month. If we wanted to be Twitch
even
stream.
do that.
Yeah, if even that, this is what we do. Twitch.tv/DominiCoku.
There you go.
We'll tweet when we're going to be releasing it, which is at @anime_territory on Twitter. Okay, but she's like, you know, I want to do this. This is important to me.
Yeah.
And like she has a talk with her dad about, you know, like, it's like, I can't say what it is because it's not finished. Like I won't. Yeah. You know, I need to know, like, this is what I'm doing, and I don't want to reveal anything about it.
Yeah, she kind of wants to do it herself as well.
But, like, he can tell, like, she's working hard on something. Like, he sees her, like, studying nonfiction books in the library.
Yeah, she sees how hard she works at the library.
Yeah, and she's
where
like,
he works.
Where he works, yeah. So it's like, let's let her see this out and try to figure her own way in life. And it's... people can take the path less traveled, but you have to realize the path less traveled is going to be harder because it's not, and it's people haven't made the way for it. So
yeah, he's also like, and it's your choice. It's whatever happens, it's your fault basically. So it's like, make sure this is right. Yeah,
it's like you are making this choice. You know, it is. You can't blame us. You can't blame society. Like you're going down this path, and it's fine. But you got to know that it's your responsibility to go down this path. So that was themes comes a little bit later in our plan, but we'll hit on them as we hit on them. So, but yeah, that's her in a nutshell. She does like Seiji. She is smitten with him. She's like a supportive friend. She's got a friend that likes her, but she's like, what? No, I don't like you like that. My friend does.
Yeah, my other friend.
Yeah. So there's like a little bit of a triangle, which we'll talk about them a little bit later. They're not that important, but they're there.
They're there.
Ashley Tisdale plays the female friend in the dub. Other than Carrie Ools, that's the only dub actor I can remember.
Pretty sure Brittany Snow is Shizuku, and she's in Pitch Perfect.
Okay. I've never seen Pitch Perfect. Okay, yeah, Crucify Me on the Cross. I've never seen it.
You didn't see Pitch Perfect. 1, 2, or 3.
You're right. Never seen any of those. Is Rebel Wilson in that? I like Rebel Wilson. She's fun. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen her in anything but like Conan interviews.
Second one's not very good. I didn't watch the third one.
Okay. All right, so next week we're covering Pitch Perfect. No. Let's talk about Seiji Yamasawa for a little bit.
Okay.
So he's a little rude at first.
Yeah.
So when she first meets him and she doesn't know who she is, she leaves her book at school and she's like, "Oh, I need to go get that book back." And like the Commercialrhodes lyrics are in there, and he kind of like gives her grief that like, "Concrete roads, ha ha ha," and she's like, "Stop it, you silly boy!"
Baka 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 baka.
Yeah. And he's like, well, whatever. And he's just a little standoffish. And then,
he's being kind of not aloof.
Yeah. But...
hard to get.
Yeah. Oh, also, like, when she's at the antique store, she's got to go bring her dad's lunch to him.
That's the best line.
But she leaves the lunch at the antique store, and he goes and finds her. And what was the line? I don't remember.
He's basically like, "That's a lot of lunch for you. You sure you can eat all that?" Or something like that.
He's just implying that she just eats a lot. It's like, and she doesn't get a chance to say it's not her lunch. So again, first couple of encounters, not good. Not good.
Also, to point out, she doesn't know that's Seiji.
No, she does not. So, like, technically her first encounter with Seiji Yamasawa is she notices that a lot of the books she's been checking out from the library, he has also checked out before her. So she's like, who is this mystery man who likes the same books as me?
Yeah.
But she doesn't think that he's Seiji Yamasawa because she's like, oh, he must be related to the person who owns the antique store, and their last name is Nishi.
Yes.
Because that's on the sign.
Mm-hmm. Also, she's like, my Seiji wouldn't be this type of jerk. No, my guy's sensitive and likes reading.
Yeah, exactly. So, but then we learn that, like, she goes in to see, and he's like, oh, yeah, my grandpa's not home, but you can come and look at the Baron or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'll be downstairs.
Yeah.
She goes downstairs, and he's making a violin, and she's really impressed that he could do that. It's like, have you made all these violins? Because there's like 4 or 5 of them. He's
no.
Like, no, we teach a class. I made this one, and I'm making this other one here. And it's what I want to do with my life. And then, like, she, like, asks him to play the violin. So she asked if he can play it. And he's like, yeah, I can play it, but I'll only play it if you sing along. I know you know this. Yeah. And then they start playing Country Roads.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite scene.
It's one of my favorite, yeah. It's a fantastic scene.
So it's just... You know, and then the grandpa comes home from the delivery he was making, and
with his 2 best friends.
Yeah, it's him and 2 other old dudes, and they're like, "Oh, be quiet! Somebody's playing music downstairs." And then they just like silently pick up a couple of different instruments and join in, and it's just, it's like it's the Whisper of the Heart scene.
Yeah,
if you've ever seen a Whisper of the Heart scene, it's
probably
this one.
It's probably that one or the fantasy sequence, I would say.
Yeah, but I would say the fantasy sequence is a big part of the movie, but I would say it did not make the cultural impact that the violin scene made.
Okay.
So, but yeah, no, I mean, they talk about their hopes, or he talks about his dreams and
going to Italy, making violins,
and like I don't think they're like officially like a thing per se.
No.
Until after he comes back.
Well, after that,
or like right before he comes back, they like
right before he leaves. There's this.
They go to the roof and people are like speculating that there are things like, you got a visitor from another class, and he's like, I'm going, like I got the permission to go do this study thing, and I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be gone, and I don't know. They don't really like actually confess there while people are watching, but it's fairly implied that.
Oh, they like each other.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. At this point in the movie, he's gone. She starts writing the novel. Yes. She promises the shop owner, Shiro Nishi, Seiji's grandpa, that she wants to make it about the Baron, so she wants his permission, and then he wants to be the first one to read it. Like that's his stipulation, and she's like, "Yep, I can do that." So she has a conflict with her sister at this point, which we'll just go ahead and talk about her real quick.
Okay.
That's Shiho. I mean, we were talking about Seiji, now we're talking about Shizuku again. But Shiho is... basically, it's my older brother, Nick. She's kind of like, you need to do things the correct, proper way, and like...
She's the good kid.
Yeah. And it's like a little anal retentive about things, and she's always like cleaning. And it's like, make sure you do your chores and such, and it's just like I mean, and you can tell there's love there, and I love my brother Nick, but it's just a similar relationship.
Like, we're not the same people. Let me watch my cartoons while you do the dishes or whatever.
Yeah, it's like I don't need my room to be clean.
Yeah,
but I do need the basement to be clean. You're right. I will go do my part, clean the basement mess. Like it's just okay. Yeah, I guess we'll like talk about the grandpa at this point.
Okay.
So, she makes the book over the break, or it's not a break, but when she's not really paying attention in school.
Yeah, 2 months when
he's gone for 2 months. So she gives the book to him like as she finishes, and he reads through it. I think she like falls asleep for a little bit.
Yeah.
Or like she's just like anxiously worried about.
She's just on the balcony, like hunched over. It's really sad.
Yeah. And he's like, it was good. And she's like, no, it's not. Don't
It's
lie to
garbage.
me. It's garbage. He's like, well, it's rough.
Yeah.
Like, and he takes out a little gemstone that he has that's still like in the rock. And he's like, you know, you're like this gemstone.
He says that earlier in the movie, but he alludes back to it.
Yeah. It's like, you're like this gemstone. You're, you know, it's what we can see is very pretty, but until we open it up and polish it, we won't know if it's worth anything.
Yes.
You know, it could be that it's worth nothing, or it could be that there's something hidden that's worth even more than the little bit we can see. Mm-hmm. But like, I know that there's something in there. You're like that. It needs, you know, this
needs
is
polished now.
Yeah, you've written it. You've done the hard task, and like, from what I've heard from authors, it's like finishing a book is pretty hard.
Yeah.
Revising it is hard too, but like getting it done is something that you need to get done eventually. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's just like you can study and you can do this and you can, you know, there's just a lot of things.
It's just like, you should be proud of this. Yeah. You did a lot of work on this and you should be proud.
Yeah. He also like talks about a lot of the story is about the Baron, and he has a part. He was made by a magical toy smith or something, and he has a partner that he's been separated from, which is like, I think she knew the truth. Like, he won't sell the Baron until the Baron's been reunited with his partner figurine. So she like makes a story around that. The Baron in her story, like there's a fantasy sequence where she's just kind of living out part of the story. Yeah. And it's the Baron in the dub, played by Carrie Wools. So good.
So good.
One of the best parts of the dub.
Yeah.
But like, he tells the real story of the Baron, that he was in Germany before the war. Yeah. I don't know if probably World War II or World War One. I don't know. II,
but he was a student there.
He's a student, and there was this girl, and he wanted to buy the Baron, but the guy wouldn't sell it because the Baron's partner was still
in
repairs. So he finally convinced that it's like, okay, you'll let me buy the Baron if my girlfriend here promises to buy her partner, and then you know, when we meet back up, we will, you know, they'll be reunited. Yes. And then the war comes, and they're never able to reunite. So it's just kind of
he even goes back.
Yeah,
and he can't find her. Yeah, it's really sad.
But sad in a way, like, okay, but he found other love. He's got a grandson. Like, but it's just, you look back 60 years and you're like, damn, that's it's bittersweet. You know,
it's bittersweet.
It's the pain has faded, but it's still there, and it can be dug back up. But yeah, that's basically the story. He's just like a supportive old guy who repairs.
Yeah. He's the one who's like
antiques.
Trying to get Seiji's parents to agree to the Italy thing.
Yeah. I think when she finishes the book, she's like, okay, hey, I've done what I was doing, and I'm ready to go back to like studying and running the real path, but I will be, you know, I will be making, you know, this, I know what I want to do with my future, but I also know that I want to get a good education to help with it. Mm-hmm. So, you know, her parents are like, oh, thank God. Because they're like, one of them's going through college, and it's like, you can tell they're not poor per se, but they lived in a cramped space.
Cramped apartment, books all over the place. It's probably like 2 rooms.
Yeah. So it's, you know, the sister's moving out, and they're like, are you sure? She's like, yeah, I got another part-time, I got 2 jobs now, and I've got this place lined up so I can, you know, be out of your hair. And, I mean, her parents are very supportive, but busy. Yes. Is how I would describe them. Their names are Asako and Seiya Tsukishima. Yep. Dad works at the library, and the mom is doing like a master's or a doctorate study in college.
Yeah. Not sure for what, but she's in college.
Yeah. So they're busy, but there's obviously love there. But there's also just a matter of like, I need to do this.
They're very good.
I'm working very late into the night.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked a little bit about the friends. The guy friend who likes her, but she doesn't like, is Sugimura. And then her female friend, Yuko Harada, played by Ashley Tisdale. Is, she likes her, the friend who likes her. But she got asked out by somebody else on like the baseball team. And she's like, I'm going to say no. I'm going to decline because I like somebody else. And then the guy on the baseball team asks Sugimura to like respond to the confession or something, and like she takes that rough.
Oh yeah, it's rough.
And then like it reaches the point where he's like, will you just like talk to her about like, he's a good guy. Like I don't know why she got mad. It's like, don't you understand why she said, why are you telling me this? It's like she just straight up tells him it's because she likes you, and he's like,
but I like you.
No, that can't be because I like you. And she's like, I don't like you. Nothing more than a friend. He's like, nothing? She's like, nope. It's like, all right. He's a little like angry at first, a little like, but he's a kid. He's not, I don't think he meant anything by some of his actions. And he's like, okay, no, I get it. I'll back off. Let me know if things change, but
just let me know. Here's my number.
Call me, maybe. But and the only other character I've written down is the Baron. So, I mean, those are our main characters. That fleshed out the story a little bit more, too, I think.
I forgot the cat.
Oh, Muta.
Yeah.
Or Moon.
Yep.
He's got a bunch of names. He's just like a stray that a lot of houses will, like, feed. And he is smart enough to, like, take the train places. Yeah. So, and just, like, tease dogs.
That's great.
Yeah. He's like the bad guy in her book too, I think.
I thought it was a rat.
No.
It's a cat?
I think yeah, he's the bad guy. Okay. It's not touched upon very much, but
okay.
He's also he's the one of the two recurring characters in the sort of sequel The Cat Returns.
Oh, is he the guy who's played by Peter Boyle?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, that was the same character. And then the Baron's there too in The Cat Returns.
So great.
Yeah. Man, if he doesn't speak in this, but if Peter Boyle was in this, that would have upped the dub a lot too. So. Okay. Okay, do we want to talk about our Hallmark theory?
You can talk about your Hallmark theory.
Okay. This is like a proto Hallmark movie.
Okay.
It's got a lot of the things that Hallmark movies have. It's got old-timey like book card catalog systems. It's got like a love that doesn't really have much like conflict to it.
Okay.
Like they end up together. It's got, I wrote sharing an umbrella, which is more like a my kink than a Hallmark kink sort of thing, but I feel like that would happen in a Hallmark movie.
That's usually like the scene where they get together.
Yeah.
Or they like finally...
They're like forced to spend time together because they're in the rain and they have to share an umbrella.
It's not always a rain and an umbrella, but it's that type of scene.
Yeah. There's an antique store.
Okay.
The guy wants to be like, he doesn't want like a high profile job. He wants to be a violin maker.
Okay, that makes sense. That's a lot.
That's a Hallmark. It's like, yeah, I want to make violins by hand. That's what I want my profession to be. Initially they don't like each other, but then they grow to like each other. Mm-hmm. The one noticeable difference you said is that Hallmark, there's typically a don't like, grow to like, separation, come back together. Like there's like an inciting.
There's a conflict.
Really, there's not really a conflict to drive them apart, other than the fact that like
he leaves for Italy, months. But that's it.
They share a bike at one point when he comes back from Italy.
I've watched a lot of Hallmark movies. I don't think they ever share a bike.
Maybe that's more of an anime romance trope, like the sharing an umbrella sort of thing. Mm-hmm. It happens a lot in the typical anime romances. Let's share a bike. There's a really beautiful bike sharing scene in Bakemonogatari.
Okay.
Or at least I think it's in Bakemonogatari and not one of its million sequels. there's sort of a mystery at the beginning. Hallmark sometimes have mysteries. Who Seiji Yamasawa is the mystery. That's resolved fairly quick. The one thing, other than like the separation drawing them apart, the one thing that would not be in any Hallmark movie today is that her parents smoke. That would not be in a Hallmark movie.
I also don't think they have a fantasy sequence where Carrie Lewis plays a cat.
I don't know. I feel like that could fit into a Hallmark movie. If it was about an author, which a lot of Hallmark movies are about.
Yes. But they're always about like mystery novels authors. They're never like fantasy novels.
That's not true. I watched a Hallmark movie this Christmas about a high profile author who wrote a book called like Christmas Town or something that was about a town doing its Christmas preparations.
That's not fantasy, is it?
No.
Okay.
But, I mean, I'm just saying it's not a mystery.
Okay.
It's just like a love story about attending Christmas things.
Okay.
In this, like, town that loves Christmas or whatever.
Yeah, it's a Hallmark movie. They all love Christmas.
Yeah, I know. She then goes to the town that...
I don't know if you can tell from my tone. I hate Hallmark movies.
Oh, no. I mean, I know you do. But
yeah. That's all my mom watched, like, and my sister watched during, like, Christmas time. Or like just all throughout the year, just Hallmark movies, and they all have the same plot. And I'm just like, you know where this is going.
Yeah, I know. I don't watch much TV with my mom.
Yeah.
But my mom likes Hallmark movies as well. And this Christmas we watched the Hallmark movie. My mom, my dad, and I. Mm-hmm. And my dad and I were joking the whole time, like, okay, now this is gonna happen, and it's like, okay, yep, that happened. Yeah. And my mom was like, shush. But at the end of the day, I'm like, nah, I get it. No. Like, they're not good, but I get why my mom watches them. It's the same reason why I watch rom-com animes. Gives me that feeling of, I'm happy and I like it. It's comfortable. Okay. I get it. I eat this shit up. It's shit, but I eat it up. So, Hallmark movie. I don't think I'd want to watch more than like one or two of them a year, but I get wanting to watch them.
No, I hate Hallmark movies.
We saw like the night we watched that Hallmark movie, we saw like maybe like 5 or 10 minutes of another one before we had to go do something else. Mm-hmm. And like one of the same characters was in it, but instead of being like the high profile guy that she ends up not liking, he just plays the main character's friend. It's like, hey, it's that guy again.
Oh yeah, they show. You watch enough Hallmark movies, you're like, oh, that's that guy.
Yeah, he was Brad. Why is he called Doug now? There's another guy named Brad played by a different actor, and now he's the douchebag.
I feel like there's a Hallmark movie where I think every Hallmark movie has a character named Brad.
What we need to watch is the Hallmark movie that has Will Ferrell in it and somebody else. Like he and another like high profile actress were in a Hallmark movie, and it's just like a straight up normal Hallmark movie. It's not like extra funny or anything. The only thing funny about it is that it stars Will Ferrell, and he's just like playing it straight like any other Hallmark actor would.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's out there. We can check it out at some point.
I don't want to watch it if it's an actual Hallmark movie.
I do. I respect the dedication to the bit, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, what is it? During Christmas, as you know, I spent it at a hotel.
Yeah. Because
of reasons. But anyways, I was just flipping through the channel. Like, there's a movie playing where it was an obvious, like, parody of Hallmark movies. I'm like, now this is what I want to watch. Because everything they're saying is spot on.
Okay. Well, we'll watch that and the Will Ferrell one. It was like
business lady whose job comes first, who like doesn't have time for men.
Are you sure it wasn't just a regular Hallmark movie?
No, they're playing it up.
It was a parody?
No, it was definitely a parody. They were playing it up. Trust me.
Okay, all right.
It was like they're hitting every point.
Okay, all right.
But I can see your connections with this movie being a Hallmark movie.
Yeah. If not in form, then at least in substance is my running theory. Because you're right. It's missing a lot of the key. There's no like... I mean, I guess there's sort of another guy, but he's not like a bad person, that she realizes is bad. And there's not a lot of conflict.
There's no conflict.
Movie.
There's no like business trying to buy out a town for condos.
Yeah, no, it's just a matter of these are their lives and they have some struggles.
Also, it's about kids and not 38-year-old women.
It's true. Very true. One of the few downsides of this movie is that it's not about a 38-year-old woman.
Sorry, woman in her mid-30s.
Sorry. Women in her late 20s is I think what you mean? Played by an actress in her late 30s.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah, that's my Hallmark thing. We've got... Do you want to hit on like some other themes? I know we talked about, you know, the thought of feeling inadequate and imposter syndrome.
I wrote down like the feeling of doubt and like just not thinking that you're good enough.
Comparing yourself to others that are in completely different situations than you, but you feel like, oh, they're way ahead of their life and I'm not. I get that feeling today.
All the time.
I'm like, God, what if one of the people that was dumber than me in high school is like way successful now? And I'm just like, I work software support and it's a stable job and I don't feel like I'm in a bad industry because there are people, you know, 20 years older than me that are at the same level as me and have a, you know, a successful like family and you know, income. It's like, I feel like I'm doing well until I start to think, well, what if there's somebody that I thought, you know, I'll be honest, one of my flaws is that I think I'm smarter than a lot of other people. And it's like, so what if one of those people that was like mean to me in high school and I thought, well, I'm going to be more successful than them. What if they own some sort of like, I don't know, repair business and they're making way more money and way more successful than me? I mean, it's not something I want to do. It's not something that interests me, but just like, you know, or there's people out there that are like doing way more interesting things than what I'm doing. And I'm like, I'm not at the cutting edge of life anymore.
I work at a home improvement store.
Yeah. I know. It's just, I get those feelings. I want to relate to the movie. I get the feeling of, am I doing what I want to do with my life? Or am I coasting because I'm good enough to do this?
Or maybe too afraid to take a step toward what you want to do.
Yeah. So I get it. That's a big part. And then just also, like where we talked about walking your own path and how it's hard and you have to work harder if you're going to do it.
Yeah, I feel like the best kind of way to describe the theme of this movie is that gym analogy that the grandpa says.
Yeah. Do we want... Yeah, until you polish it and go and check, you're never going to know if there's anything of value there.
So you have to work at it.
Yep. But there's something in there. Something. You know there's something. We can see a little glimmer of beauty.
There's something.
But if it'll be more than that or less than that, we'll never know until we polish it. Do we want to talk about some of the things... Well, let's talk about differences between the sub and the dub. Okay. So, like, the big difference is the end.
The main difference
the main change, I would say, is the end. In the dub, Seiji comes back from his training in Italy, his 2 months, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna go to high school first, and then I'm gonna come back. Yes. And then in the sub, he's like, okay, I'm gonna do it, and I'm going to be gone for 6 years, living in Italy. And it's like, when you're ready and we can meet up again, do you want to get married? He asked, do you want to get married, you know, in both. But he's just like, I'm going to be gone.
I think in the sub, he's like, will you marry me? Or it doesn't have to be today, but like, will you marry me? And then in the dub, he's like, he asks the questions, can you see us getting married? Yeah. So it's a little different, but...
Yeah, I think they both have marriage in mind, and that was apparently a big thing for Miyazaki when he was writing it because he wants young people to commit. Yeah, because of the. That's it here. It's a growing problem in Japan that there's just too many young people that are like their population is declining. There's just young people are not getting married much, and it's just the birth rate is way down. So. He's one of those old people, like, young people need to have sex more and have more babies and commit to marriage and even if they're unhappy or they, so even these people that are 15, they should be committing themselves to marriage. Like, a little off the mark there.
I feel like Miyazaki's always like, you're so close to being like on point, but then there's one part where it's like,
your age is showing there a little bit, Miyazaki. Like I get where you're coming from, but it's a little bit of an extreme angle you're taking here. And damn it, I have to respect it because I love the movies you make. But some of these messages are just slightly off. Have you found the quote that you're looking for there? And then you've got the little booklet. You've got the steel book, which came with a little booklet that talks about like some letters that, was it Miyazaki wrote one of them, and then
the Suzuki producer did.
The producer wrote another one. So, I mean, the other thing Miyazaki was like is he wants to make a story about, so often us old people are gonna say, no, like you're not gonna be a famous musician, you're not gonna be a famous actor, you need to be more realist. But he's like I need, like, even though I feel that, like, I also want to, like, some people it will, like, you will be able to follow your dreams and do this wildly outlandish thing that you want.
You should at least try it.
Exactly, yeah. He's like, I don't want to discourage you from trying, because if you don't put the work in when you can, then you're never going to achieve that. And some people will achieve that. So you should at least put the work in. Maybe have, like, a fallback that you can think of. Don't abandon everything normal. But, I wanted to make a movie that shows young people committing to doing things that are outside the norm. So, becoming a violin maker, writing a novel. I think their current plan is for Seiji to become a violin maker living in Italy, and for her to move out to Italy and write novels there.
That sounds great.
That's the dream.
Yeah. And you get to meet Porco Rosso.
And I think Porco's probably dead. He's middle-aged, like...
That's true.
During, like, the rise of World War II. So, I don't think we're going to get any Porco-Seiji crossover. But maybe... what's the girl's name?
What are you talking about?
In Porco Rosso, the young... I know the Piccolo's last name.
Gia? No, or is that the owner?
I think that's the
owner. Fio.
Maybe Fio. Maybe they can run into Fio.
Maybe.
She was fairly young. She'd be like slightly younger than his grandpa, I would say.
This might be it. Hold on, I think I found the quote. This film will represent a type of challenge issued by a bunch of middle-aged men who have lots of regrets about their own youth to today's young people. It will attempt to stimulate a spiritual thirst and convey the importance of yearning and aspiration to an audience that, just as we middle-aged men once did, tends to give up easily on the idea of being stars of their own stories.
Yeah. That's more for the second thing. I thought you were finding one about marriage is what you're looking for.
I can't find that one.
Okay. But, yeah, that's his thought on the theme there.
So he's just like, yeah, people just need to go for their dreams.
Yeah. You may fail. Be prepared to fail. Yeah. But also, like, don't give up. Mm-hmm. So, we so often forget that, we get in this mindset that we need to take the easy path. So, okay. Do you have any other, like, notes that you want to talk about at this point?
Nothing of importance.
I've got, if I learn piano, this is the top of my list.
Okay.
I want to learn piano at some point, and then COVID hit, and I'm like, I don't really feel comfortable taking lessons from somebody.
Just buy a piano.
I don't have to buy a piano. I have an in for a piano. The question is, I have to move a full-size piano out of my aunt's house and put it in our basement somewhere and find room for a full-size piano.
Yeah, I'm not helping you with that.
Yeah, no.
Just keep it in a garage. Have a garage piano.
Garage piano. That's a great place to keep a piano, where it's... The basement's not much better.
Yeah. Not our basement.
Yeah. So, like, I either have to buy, like, a keyboard that's easy to put up and take down, or or I can get a free piano from my aunt and uncle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one note I have. I have libraries are cool. That's a note.
Okay.
I've got a dope hat.
Yeah, Shizuku has a dope hat.
Shizuku has a dope hat. I wrote that note down. I forgot what I meant by that. I'm like, who has a dope hat in this? And you're like, Shizuku does. I remember this note that you wrote. And I'm like, I don't remember what the hat looks like. So we had to look up a picture before this recording. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a dope hat.
It's like a
little
Madeline.
like a straw hat that's got like a little ribbon on it.
It's like a Madeline hat.
Yeah. We should write that the Shizuku is the inspiration for the lo-fi hip-hop beats to relax/study to girl. Like, That's a confirmed fact. Because there's a scene that's like, oh, this is the scene they ripped off.
Yeah.
It's got great rewatchability, this show. Movies are shows. Because they have showtimes.
Showtime.
The only other notes I have are Yoko Hano is the one who did the Japanese cover of in the end credits.
I don't remember.
And Country Roads is my only other note.
Okay.
Carrie Ools. I have that as a note.
Carrie Ools. My notes are: Dub makes Seiji unlikable because he calls Country Roads corny.
Are we gonna do dubs versus subs? Is that how we should transition to next? What are your other notes?
That antique store has a fantastic balcony view. Like they would make millions off of that view. Amazing. Mm-hmm. At one point we see Muto, and like you could see it at like this one frame. He has the same eyes as the Baron. So I don't know if there's like a
connection there,
or like just a little Easter egg or something.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. There's a great door slam where like I think Shizuku's mom tells her like do the dishes. She just like slams her door, but it's a sliding door, so it just goes.
Yeah.
I just thought it was really funny. And the parents are great. And I prefer the sub over the dub.
Okay. I think I prefer the dub over the sub. And not just for Carrie Ools.
Okay.
I think I just like the Country Roads scene better in the dub. I don't know. Like when I can... I think it's a very competent dub.
It's a very competent dub, but I feel like you get more out of the sub because I like the sub.
It's hard.
That scene I like it subbed better because I think the lyrics are better.
We almost always watch the dub.
Yeah.
And then this time we watched the sub, and it was like I've seen that scene sub before because people will post it on Reddit, and I'll be like, oh, this is the sub of the scene. I guess I'll watch it, but I don't know.
Because I watched the dub like 2 days ago just because it was a week since we watched it. I'm like, I don't want to, and I didn't have any notes. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch this again just so I'm prepared. So I watched the dub. I'm like, no, the sub's better.
Okay. All right. I mean, I am going to be officially undecided on this. Okay. So it's a conversation to be continued probably for the rest of our lives.
Because again, I like that Country Road scene better in sub. Because one, I think it's a better singer. And two, I just think the lyrics are better. You have to read them, but
yeah,
I think they hit a more emotional note in the sub, and I like the sub ending better.
Okay,
I like that he's like
he's just like I'm gonna be gone for 6 years studying how to make a violin. Mm-hmm. Please come out and marry me after that. Yeah. Don't find other love while you're starting high school. Just hang on to this love with me that you won't be able to see me for 6 years.
That's right.
Yeah, probably. I'm just saying, like, it's such they're 15 at most at the end of this.
Yeah.
So, it's...
I want to believe, all right?
Yeah. I mean, so we're talking about that scene a lot. I know that's our favorite scene, or one of our favorite scenes. Do you want to talk
before we go to favorite scenes, I just want to give a shout out to the director, Toshifumi Kondo. This is the only movie he directed, because he unfortunately, passed away a little bit after making this movie from overworking.
Oh yeah, that's
just want to give a shout out. This is the only one he watched. He was said to be the successor to Miyazaki, but unfortunately he passed away. but he worked on a lot of the earlier Ghibli movies as like art director and everything.
Yeah, his name's he's worked on more movies, but it's like, okay, this is your shot, make a movie. You know, Miyazaki's gonna write it, so you don't have to write and direct. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's a great movie, and we don't get to see more of his work. And
it's very sad. Just wanted to say that.
Way to bring me down.
Sorry.
Bring me up with your favorite scenes. Talk about your favorite scenes.
I love the scene where Shizuku follows Moon the first time, where she like leads up to the antique store.
It's just she's going on an adventure. It's
yeah.
Like, I'm gonna follow this cat, and I found a weird antique store at the end of it. Like this is.
It's like you can't do that in Effingham. No,
you can't. I'm gonna try to do that when I go to Tokyo later this year.
It's like you're not gonna find this beautiful balcony antique store. You're gonna find a freaking
and fall in love with a cute boy who wants to make violins. That'll never happen to me, Ben.
You're gonna find a playboy in the woods.
There's like a little like rusted like knight's armor thing I found in the woods with I don't know. I spent a lot of time in the woods as a like 10 to 14-year-old. There's like a rusted out like knight's armor thing that a friend of mine showed me.
Cool.
There's some weird stuff around in the woods we can find.
Yeah, but it's not Tokyo.
No, I know.
It doesn't end with a beautiful Tokyo view.
It's true. It ends in like at best you're gonna
a hill,
a creek waterfall. Not even a real hill. You'll get a valley because we don't have real hills in Effingham County.
Because we live in a valley. Anyways. But yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes. Obviously, the Commercialrhodes scene.
Yeah.
I like it when Seiji meets Shizuku at the library, like right before he leaves for Italy. Because like she's like really working hard. And he just like sits next to her and starts reading. He's like, I'll let you finish.
Yeah. So she doesn't notice him at first.
Mm-hmm. I just think it was really adorable.
I like the scene where I don't remember much what happens, but when they're on their like roof talking like before he leaves and the whole school is watching them. I don't know. I just like those scenes where it's like the whole school is like, yeah, get it, girl. Woo! It's I don't know. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the from Up on Poppy Hill a bit.
Okay.
Where it's just like, you know, I don't know, just like the atmosphere of the school at that moment reminds me of the atmosphere of that one like old club building where it's just like these people are all like, they're into it. None of them are like, I'm not cool. I'm too cool for school. They're all like,
no, we're invested.
We're the fucking reporting club. We're gonna do this. Yeah. You know, they're invested, and
the whole class is there.
Yeah, and then the scene in Bunny Girl Senpai where everyone's watching him yell out his love to the courtyard. That's a little bit more of a subdued thing where it's not like people like cramming in doorways, and it's just you know, I like that scene. I like the scene with Carrie Ools, obviously, where she's living out the fantasy of the book or whatnot.
Honestly, I don't care about that scene, but it's like,
it's a respectable scene.
Carrie Ools is just really good in it.
Yeah, Carrie Ools is just good in everything I've seen him in. He's just got a beautiful voice.
My last one was basically any scene in the apartment. They did such a good job at designing that apartment.
Oh, it's beautiful. Did you? I know you started to do this. Did you ever do this? There's a version of the movie on your Steelbook where it's just like the storyboards of the audio.
I didn't finish that. No.
Okay, because you started watching that and I'm like, this is just the whole movie with storyboards. It's very interesting, but we just watched this movie, and you're like, yeah. We need to have a watch through like that sometime, where we're just watching the storyboard version of it.
I just love that aesthetic of the apartment, how cramped it is.
Yeah,
I love the room where like it starts with like the bunk bed in the middle, and then when her sister moves away, you finally get that space.
Because they have to have like their own half of the room, so the bunk bed has to be in the middle instead of getting like the full use of the room. They have to have it split up between them. So yeah, no, I mean the set design.
This is a beautiful movie.
Cramped, lived in.
The apartment's aesthetic,
messy.
That any landscape shot, any street shot, it's all beautiful.
Yeah, well, this is a beautiful movie. I don't know if we've said that enough. We like this movie. This is in my top 10 movies. I don't know where.
This is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Perfect.
10 out of 10.
Has a train scene. Can't go wrong with the train scene.
What is this? Rail Wars?
Japan knows how to do trains.
Yeah.
We don't
Our
get that in
trains
America.
The best thing about our trains is sometimes there's cool graffiti, but I can never read it. Sometimes there'll be a picture.
And most of the time, they're probably just gang signs.
Yeah. Or they're like, oh, that nobody, you didn't put any artistry in that. That's just like some squiggly line. Like, that's not like a cool, like, font.
Are you critiquing train art?
Sometimes. I'm just like, that's not impressive.
Or sometimes matter is like, that's just Snoopy. You just drew Snoopy.
I don't think I've ever seen Snoopy on a train.
I think I've seen Snoopy on a train once.
I missed it once. My brother saw like a drawing of a police officer on a train, and I was like looking down or something. And I'm like, I'm constantly on the lookout for a drawing of a police officer on a train. I'm never gonna see that.
You ever want to like take a note of one and be like, I've seen that train before?
I've never had a train where I can for sure say I've seen this train before.
Or I've seen that graffiti before. It's like, is that the same cart? Train cart? I wonder.
Nope. I'm just remembering the dumb dad joke that it's like, a train went by recently. How can you tell? I can still see its tracks. I mean, we've hit frag time. We're at 101 now.
Yeah.
So, if we want to kind of wrap up sorry we missed a fortnight. I had COVID and I didn't want to, like, I was just sick for several days, and then even when I was feeling better, we couldn't be in the same room. We could have recorded via Discord, but you were also like really busy with work.
Yeah, I worked all week, so
it was just a matter of like, let's just whatever. We can't make it. So we're recording this. We may have a bonus episode to make up for it. We had a bonus episode on Halloween, so that kind of makes up for it, I guess.
Maybe.
It might just be our next regular episode, but we're going to try to talk about I know what we promised Ergo Proxy last episode.
We didn't promise it.
We said we're probably not going to. Yeah. I don't think we're going to get to Ergo Proxy at this point.
We said we might do Ergo Proxy, but then you got hit with the reading bug, and I got hit with the community bug. So we're like, we don't have time for Ergo Proxy.
I wanted to read, and then I got COVID, and you wanted to watch Community, and I wanted to watch Community, but when I got COVID, I'm like, you can just watch Community without me.
And I did.
Yeah, and you did. You watched all of it without me. Not all of it. You watched, what, half of season 3? Or the end of season 3 up till the end?
I think end of season 3 up to the end.
Yeah. Because it was like right as like Chang was starting to take over the school. That was starting to happen in season 3. But anyway, this movie's great. We're going to try to talk about the Crunchyroll anime nominees in the next episode, which if we release as a bonus episode a week after this episode comes out, will be like maybe
the day of or close to.
Close to. So we won't know the results, but if we release it as a normal episode, it'll be a day late or a week late, but it'll be us trying to record it before the results are announced. I think I counted. I've watched I've watched at least one episode of 30 animes that came out in 2021. Okay. Now I didn't watch all of them as they were coming out. Some of them I caught up recently.
I did not hit 10.
No, but you're gonna watch 2 more.
I'm gonna watch at least 2 more. Yeah. I'll probably watch Comey. Can't communicate.
Well, and if you count, like again, this 30 is things I've watched at least one episode of. You've watched at least one episode of I think probably 12 things. Yeah. Because we did the
impressions.
Yeah. Spring and summer impressions there. So, but we'll have that for the next episode.
Anime of the year is Burning Kabaddi.
I do not believe that is your anime of the year. Yeah, Spoiler alert, we've already talked about our anime of the year. It's Sunny Boy. And we've already probably talked about the runner-up, Odd Taxi.
I'll watch the other 2.
Yeah. I really liked, I think we're going to try to talk a little bit more about Ranking of Kings and 86.
Those are the 2 nominated for best anime that we can feasibly watch, basically.
Yeah, because I'm so far behind on Attack on Titan. I've seen season 1.
I watched the first episode.
I wasn't super impressed with season 1. Like, I really liked it when I watched it, and then I finished it. I'm like, eh. So I know it gets better. I know.
Mm-hmm.
But we might touch on it a little bit. We might get the opinion of somebody. I know somebody who's seen it. Our past guest, hopefully future guest, Dylan Rowe, has seen it. So I might get some words from him. Or I mean, he might even be on the episode. But
we'll see.
We'll see. His son is having surgery tomorrow, so he may not be available tomorrow as of the time of recording. So, but we might. I mean, I reached out to people just to try to get snippets of their ideas. Some people are like,
if it's just us, we're going to be like, yeah, Sonny Boy, done.
Yeah, it's Sonny Boy. It's going to be a lot of us being like, Sonny Boy was snubbed in this category as well. And it's going to get snubbed. It's going to be us predicting it being snubbed in all the categories that it's actually in. So,
I'll try to be impartial.
Try to. I love Sonny Boy. That's a fact. It's an objective fact. I love Sonny Boy.
Listen. I was on Amazon, still trying to see if we can get a freaking Blu-ray of it that's not Japanese.
Yeah, because it won't work.
Yeah. Well, there's like one you could buy for like $300, I think, but it's no subtitles.
It'd be region locked, wouldn't it, normally?
Maybe.
Or do they not do that anymore?
I don't know. But anyways, there's no subtitles, so it's like, I can't watch this.
Yeah. And
also there's like a calendar you could buy, but it looked really shady because there's no reviews on it. So I'm like, I don't think this is going to be a Sonny Boy calendar.
I still really want the soundtrack, but I do not want to pay $80 for part 1 and $80 for part 2. Mm-hmm. So, or $35 plus $30 shipping or whatever to buy it from a Japanese website and have it shipped over to us in America. It's like, it's either buy it on Amazon for $80 for each half, or buy it on a Japanese website for like $70 for each half after shipping. So I'm like, nope, I'll keep looking. Maybe one of these days I'll get it. I like that soundtrack.
Anyways.
Yeah, so you can follow us at anime_territory on Twitter. We're Anime Territory on YouTube and podcast platforms like Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Pretty much anywhere you can find podcasts. We are streaming sometimes on Twitch, twitch.tv/DominicGoku. I don't know when we'll do that again, but we're pretty close to finishing Chrono Trigger. And I may break down and buy Digimon cards again and do more Digimon unboxing streams. I don't know. I'm getting to that point, but I haven't played.
Is there a new set yet?
I think there actually is one that came out after Battle of Omni that is out. So, but a part of me wants to buy. I've bought Battle of Omni and I've got some of 1.5, which in Japan is set 2 and 3. And then it's basically set 2 in America. So I kind of want to get just 1 in America to get some of the other half of, because I've got cards from set 1.5 that are this gets powered up whenever you have a yellow tamer, but 1.5 has no yellow tamer cards, and Battle of Omni has no yellow tamer cards. So it's either buy a yellow starter deck that might have some yellow tamers in it, or the yellow tamers are in set 1, and they just, that half of it didn't get transferred over. So I'm I know they got to have some in set 1 because why would they have made those cards? Because the card is it's got to be, again, it's so weird because it's set 1 and 1.5, whatever. I like Digimon cards. I like unboxing them. Sometimes we do it on stream. Maybe we'll unbox Magic cards on stream. There's a new Magic set that's looking pretty cool coming out. That's Kamigawa. That's basically Japan. So
basically.
But we play games. I don't know what we'll play after we finish Chrono Trigger. Maybe I'll let you pick a game.
Ooh, Madden it is.
I have the capability of. I've got an Elgato. We can record Switch or Xbox or PlayStation games. I've never figured out how to use it, but I've got it for when we want to do that.
All right.
All right. So you're now leaving the anime territory?
Bye.